This video is a warning, a video that is going to be a reminder for many of you. Not all of you, but many of you. What I'm getting ready to explain to you is kind of what I alluded to in my last video, but I didn't talk to you about it in regards to a specific person. And now I'm getting ready to talk to you about it in regards to a specific person because I just had a coaching session earlier today with a client, and what we touched based on I think is imperative for me to share with all of you guys on this channel. For all of you out there trying to manifest a new SP or trying to manifest an old SP back, you must understand, you really don't know how much work you have done and how far you've come until you are in the storm or until you are in your manifestation and have gotten it. I've alluded to some of this stuff in my past videos, but I'm getting ready to go into it more in depth. I'm also going to share with you one of my favorite YouTubers that I've watched over the past couple of years, a content creator by the name of Vanessa Lau, who recently went through a similar situation, but it wasn't in regards to a specific person, it was in regards to her business. And so what I want you guys to see is the correlation between manifesting a specific person versus manifesting something in your business or whatever the case may be, because what I'm getting ready to go over applies to everything. So I had a one-on-one session today with a client, and we were going over everything that she's been doing over the past couple of months and trying to manifest a specific person and getting a bunch of movement. And so now she's getting ready to fly out to go see her specific person. But something that we went over on our call today is something that has been coming to the surface these past few days in anticipation of leading up to her travels this weekend on her flight. We began talking about how all of this stuff was coming to the surface and how anxious the trip was going to be for her. We discussed all of these negative thoughts, all of these negative emotions, but most importantly, we also discussed were her actions that were coming from a place of the new person that she wanted to be, or were they coming from the place of the old person that she was? See, if you guys remember the most recent video that I put out detailing about how making a decision in the real time, in the 3D, is what allows you to shift from reality to reality. And it's like the universe is testing you to see, are you gonna make the same mistakes that you've always made in the past, or have you really transitioned and do you really believe in your new affirmations and believe in this new person you are? I said in that video that the universe is always gonna test you. It's always gonna test you to see if you are really gonna keep your word, if you are really that new person. The universe is always constantly giving you a chance to prove that you are this new person that you want to be, that you are this new version. And when this test comes, you must be prepared. And this is why I absolutely hate when content creators say that you don't need to do shadow work or you don't need to do anything else except live in the end, because that sounds all fine and well, but it's really not that easy. How are you going to deal with personally in your personal life these situations when they come to the surface, like in this situation with this person getting ready to go fly out and see whoever their specific person is? How are you gonna act when you're put in that scenario where you're faced with actions and situations and you have to make choices that are gonna show you either the old you or the new you is gonna come out and thrive in that situation? So as I'm talking to her, getting more details about the plan, how many days it is, what's going on, what they plan to do, I began to question her, and I said, are you getting ready to make this decision and some of the things that you're gonna do on this trip, are you doing those things and acting as if you are this new person that we've been discussing over the past couple of months? Or are you going on this trip and you're going to act and do and create behaviors of the old person that you were being? Because without saying too much, this person has had a history of doing a lot of things very similar in past relationships. And so basically what I had mentioned to her, I said, if you're gonna go on this trip and you're gonna continue to do what you've done in the past, I said, then guess what? You're gonna always get what you've gotten. So I explained to her, nothing wrong with going on this trip to see a specific person. However, I went over a few things in detail that I wanted her to do, and then I went over a few things in detail that I wanted her to avoid on this trip so she can avoid making decisions and acting like Neville would say, the old man or the old woman. Because I've noticed the pattern in her and she noticed the pattern as well, and we've talked about it. We see the kind of pattern and we see the kind of test that she's gone through in her life over the past, and we see some of these same situations and same scenarios popping up. And this is showing that the situation is not fixed, the situation is not healed. And as I talked about in my past video, and as I've talked about it in some of my other videos on this channel, the universe really, for a lot of us, the universe keeps giving a lot of us the same damn test until we can pass it. And once you pass it, it seems like the test miraculously goes away. I'm sure all of you know situations in your current life, or you could probably name situations in some of your friends or family members that you know that you see year after year, or every now and then. It might be every couple of years, whatever the case may be. You see each and every one of them going through the same situations and same scenarios. You ask yourself, why do they keep going through this? And it's simple. It's because they haven't shifted the paradigm. Like I told you earlier, the universe is going to continue to give you chance after chance throughout your life to see if you're going to make a new decision. And it's up to you to make that new decision in the 3D, because once you make that new decision in the 3D and stop acting like the old person, then that test miraculously goes away. And then what is supposed to come into your reality comes into your reality. And so I told her, I said, you can go on this trip and you can do X, Y, and Z. I said, but don't be surprised if you get the same outcomes that you've gotten over the past however many years, because you're still thinking and acting on that frequency of the old person. You need to rise above the frequency of that old person that you've always been or that you're used to being because it feels comfortable. You need to rise to that new person and start thinking and acting as that new person would act, and not be so anxious and not be so naive and not think that, oh, if I do this or if I do that, then what's gonna happen, whether it be bad or whether it be whatever the case may be. You must identify patterns in your life so you stop going through those patterns, so the universe stops making you go through those patterns. But it starts with the choices and decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis. And what ultimately helps with that is the tools that you have in your toolbox when these situations arrive in your life, and you will know how to deal with them. You will know what tool to use in your toolbox to deal with these situations when they rise with your specific person. A key point I want you guys to take away from this video is the energy and all the techniques that you're doing before you manifest your specific person back is nothing compared to the energy and compared to what you're gonna be feeling and the test that you might go through once you get them back. See, I want you guys to understand something. And for those out there that play sports, you guys know what I'm getting ready to talk about. There is a totally different energy, persona, whatever name you want to throw out there. There is a difference, bottom line, between a practice player and a player that can play when the lights are on. What a lot of y'all don't realize right now is a lot of y'all unknowingly, unconsciously, a lot of y'all are practice players. Y'all can be in practice and y'all can look like a superstar. Y'all can look like an all-star, the best player at whatever the sport is that y'all playing. And that's how a lot of y'all are with this manifestation stuff. And I'm just giving it to you real raw. A lot of y'all are practice players, but when the lights come on and the lights shine and the crowd is walking through the stadium and the spectators are coming in, and you smell that popcorn cooking and you smell those hot dogs cooking or sausages or whatever it is that you eat, those cheesesteaks, and you hear the music playing, you hear the fans cheering, what do? You freeze up. Freeze up like Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat. He hit you with that move like he was throwing a Hadouken. I don't care how confident you are right now doing your stats, your states akin to sleep. I don't care how confident you are doing your affirmations. I don't care how confident you are scripting. I don't care how confident you are doing any of that shit. When your SP pops back up in real life, or you're getting ready to go see them, whether you're driving or getting ready to fly out there like my client that I was working with, that's when the real practice shows. That's when all the work that you've done shows. And that's why if you really haven't done the work, that's why most of y'all or a lot of y'all will end up fumbling your specific person, because you're listening to this advice out there that's like,
oh, you don't have to do shadow work.
You don't have to do anything except live in the ant.
You don't need to fix your childhood.
You don't need to do Ho'oponopono.
You don't need to work on self-love.
Your self-concept isn't the issue.
All you have to do is assume.
blah, 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 blah. As I said earlier, the real test, the real game starts once you get your SP back, once you start meeting your SP, once you start texting and calling and get back into that committed relationship, or get married, or get your wife or your husband back that you lost. That's when the real test starts. That's when all of the scripting, all of the affirmations, all of the visualizations, that's when you see how much work did you really do? Did you really work on your self-concept? Did you really work on your self-love? Did you really deal with all of those insecurities that have been in your subconscious mind for all of these years? Did you really work on that? Because once you finally, I'm telling you, once you finally get in a relationship, all of that work that you were doing prior to the relationship, it's like a totally new world once you get into a new relationship or once you get into an old relationship. When you finally get your SP back, or when you finally start talking to them again, or once you finally get back into that relationship, that is the same feeling as having those lights on in the stadium when you are an athlete performing, or having those lights on when you are an entertainer, like a singer or something like that. What's gonna matter is how you really act and apply this stuff once you are in your relationship or once you are in contact with your SP. It's easy to be in your room or at your house or wherever you at, or to go on a walk, or to be in your car and be hype and having a good day and be like,
Yeah, I'm that bitch. Yeah, ain't nobody messing with me. Yeah, I'm top notch. I'm a bad bitch. Had none of these people see me. Ain't none of these chicks got nothing on me.
it's easy to do that shit when you single. It's easy to do that shit when you don't got what you want. But what you gonna do when your SP show back up? What you gonna be when your SP don't text you back when you want him to text you back? What you gonna do when your SP is at work and you think he's off of work and you think he's lying to you? And those thoughts that you've had over the past 5-10 years about men or women start to creep up. And just because you never dealt with one of your ex's lying before, you now think your new specific person or an old specific person you got back hasn't changed, and you start to think like,
Aw man, I wonder is he lying about or she's lying about being at work. Aw man, I wonder if she's really at her friend's house like she said, or is she over somebody else's house? Is she over another dude's house?
what are you gonna do when those thoughts start to creep back in? Like I've said religiously on my channel, all of this advice and this law of attraction, law of assumption stuff, it sounds all well and good. It sounds easy. On the surface level, it is very rudimentary. It is very elementary. It sounds that way, but applying it is totally different. Especially once you get whatever it is that you wanted to manifest, whether it be money, whether it be your job, whether it be a specific person, whatever it is, once you get it, it's a whole nother devil that you're dealing with. And this brings me to my next point, which is you have to understand what responsibilities come with whatever it is that you're manifesting, whether it be a specific person, whether it be a dream job. I personally don't think a lot of you truly understand the requirements and the expectations of what you must meet once you get a specific person, new or old, or once you get that job. A lot of you out there just think it's as easy as, oh, I just gotta be this ideal version, I gotta be this ideal person, and everything is gonna work itself out. Very few people can manifest that way, in my opinion. It's not gonna work that way for most of the people. Some people can get away with that. People that really have no resistance, etc. But for a lot of you, you won't just be able to live in the end and then everything will be all smooth or peaches and cream.
That's right.
This next example I wanna bring up is from the example I told you earlier in the beginning of the video from a content creator named Vanessa Lau. Been watching her for a few years on YouTube. She teaches people basically how to grow social media content, how to grow on pretty much all platforms, and her content is phenomenal. She grew very, very quickly. But what I want to touch base on is she most recently came back a year from after taking a sabbatical over the past 12 months. And I think her message now, I think this is the perfect message to share with all of you, because it is a message that everybody in the law of attraction, the law of assumption community should 100% know and apply. And I think this message will resonate with all of you. So a quick summation for those of you that don't know Vanessa Lau's story. Vanessa Lau is a young woman who grew up in, I believe she grew up in Canada, and she worked up in Canada, and she originally went corporate and she started working for, I think she worked for like L'Oreal, and she might've worked a couple other places after that. I remember she stopped working at L'Oreal, and I think she became a barista around the time she started her YouTube channel. And she started her YouTube channel, and her YouTube channel took off. She then went on to become extremely big, and she began selling a course and working with people one-on-one on how to grow your social media content on all your platforms. She grew her channel and she grew her revenue to, I believe, the $8 million mark over a 4-year time frame potentially. But what I want to get into is the dark side of her manifestation and what happened with her. And so you guys can see and beware of this dark side when you are in the process of manifesting whatever it is that you want to manifest. You all have to understand, when you manifest something good or manifest something that you want, in most cases, that's going to come with challenges. And what the law of assumption community feeds you a lot of times is that oh, when I manifest something, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be exactly how I want it to be. It's gonna be no problems. But that's simply not the case. If you guys wanna manifest something, you have to understand and you have to know that you have to become the type of person that is gonna be able to handle the responsibilities that comes with that manifestation. Or you're gonna have to know exactly what you want and manifest that, and not manifest something that is bigger potentially than you want it to be, or is bigger than what you could handle. You see what happened around this time a year ago? Vanessa Lau had quit her channel and she was heavily criticized by people. People saying all types of stuff about her, making up rumors, people that have no idea what she was going through. And let me say this, I'm extremely proud of Vanessa Lau for doing what she did, because what she did took a hell of a lot of heart, and most people would not be able to do what she did, and most people would have tried to stick it, gut it out, and they would have made themselves even more miserable, more depressed. So Vanessa, hats off to you for making that decision and doing the right thing, because in my opinion, I think you 100% did the right thing, especially in a time and generation where hustle culture is praised. But understanding about law of attraction, law of assumption, see, people that understand about law of attraction, law of assumption, these things come easier to them. You talk about taking it easy, not working, et cetera, et cetera. But with most people that don't know about law of attraction, law of assumption, all they think and all they know is hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind. So what Vanessa Lau did was, like I said, over a year ago, she stopped her business. She stopped selling her course to grow on social media platforms. She really stopped working with people a lot one-on-one. She might have worked with a few different people. And she most recently came back out and she dropped a new video not long ago, a few weeks ago. She dropped a new video on exactly what happened a year ago, what she's been doing over the past year, and what she plans on doing moving forward in the future with her content creation. You see, Vanessa Lau had a very big goal. She had a dream and she didn't want to go the corporate route because she knew there was something else that she wanted to do. And so that can be very scary for a lot of people when they take that jump from going against the grain and what their parents may want them to do. So that alone, I applaud her because she conquered that fear in the beginning. But a very big mistake that she made was she started out, which most people start out, especially in your own business or especially on YouTube, most people start out saying they want to grow a YouTube channel and they want a business to run and they want to promote this and promote that and they want to grow to these astronomical numbers. But what you got to watch out for is you got to watch out what comes with that when you manifest something of that magnitude, because Vanessa manifested something of a very high magnitude and everything that came with that was too overwhelming for her. And this is what I want a lot of you to pay attention to, is whatever you're manifesting, it may be so overwhelming for you that you don't even realize it. A lot of you are asking for maybe a certain SP or for this to happen with an SP, or you might be asking for a new job, or you might be saying, oh, I want to start a new business. Before you scale it and before you start it, you have to ask yourself, what kind of goals do you want? What do you want to achieve? Do you really want to be this big YouTuber that has 1 million subscribers that is selling this course? Because something that Vanessa did is her channel grew so fast, she started hiring workers and she started hiring a team and video editors and all this stuff. And those expenses started to accrue. And the stress and the wear and tear of trying to manage all of these people became too much for her. And this is the same for so many people. So many people feel the same way Vanessa Lau did. They just don't talk about it. You just don't know their story. But applaud her once again for coming out and sharing her story and not being afraid and being vulnerable. And so what I want you to do is I want you to learn from her situation and errors that she made. And when it comes time for you to manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest, you must know what responsibilities come with that and ask yourself, am I going to be willing to deal with whatever big potential responsibilities that I have that comes with this manifestation that I want to get, whether it's getting married. A lot of you guys out there want to get an SP, you want to get married to an SP, but do you know what comes with being married to a specific person? Do you know what comes with being married, period? See, a lot of people nowadays, you guys want the ring, you guys want the wedding, but you really don't want the marriage. A lot of y'all don't understand what comes with marriage. You just want the big ceremony, you want everybody buying you gifts, you want that. You want the wedding, but you don't want the marriage. Those are two different things. You gotta be ready for the real world once you get married, which is why I say this is a warning, and being careful with whatever it is that you manifest. Understand the responsibilities and the duties that may come with that, and know if you want to scale it to that level, and know what your plan may be if you do want to scale it to that level. If you don't want to scale it to that level, that's okay. But when you start a YouTube channel, when you start a new relationship, if you want your old relationship back, you must know what it is that is going to work for you. This is why I've religiously said in my videos in the past is that most people, we manifest stuff, we don't even know what it is that we really want. We manifest things, we don't know that, oh, when I get this thing, I might actually not be happy. When I get this person, I might not actually be happy. When I get this new job, I might not actually be happy. If I do get this job, what kind of responsibilities is that gonna come with? If I do get this specific person, if I do get married, what kind of responsibilities is that really gonna come with? So Vanessa Lau ended up coming back after a year off, and now more than ever, she is clear on what her goals are and what goals she can handle and what goals she actually wants. Because she realized that she didn't want the responsibility of having to manage all these people and running this big company. She realized, oh, I really do want to scale it back and focus on my family, focus on my friends more, and actually enjoying life. Oh, I realized I don't want to have to set up and post all of these Instagram reels and post in my Instagram stories because I think that's what the viewers want. Getting that dopamine hit off of seeing everybody like and DM her, it got too much, and it's okay. If it becomes too much, that's okay. But that's why I want you to figure out what it is that you want in the beginning before you even go down this path of manifesting certain things so you don't run into this trap. So now I have no doubt Vanessa Lau is going to be back. She is back, and she's going to crush it better than ever. And I have no doubt that this person that I was working with, my one client, I have no doubt that she is going to crush her next endeavors. If you guys listen to this advice, you're gonna win. I'm telling you, you're going to win. For 2024, it's time to tighten up, tighten the belt, tighten your loose screws, and really get down to the crux of what it is that you're trying to manifest. And understand that, like I said, practice is different than the game. See, Vanessa, once she really got into the game, she realized, oh wow, this is way too overwhelming for me. And it made her quit, it made her back out, which is not a problem. Glad she did that. But see, a lot of you guys are gonna run into that same mistake if you don't know really upfront what it is that you want. Really know what it is that you want when manifesting an SP, whether it be new or old. So that way, once you get back in the game, make sure you do the work. So that way, once you get back in the game, practice was easy. If practice is easy, the game should be easy. But for most people, a lot of people, it's not that way. Once they get in the game, they choke. They don't do well like they did when they were in practice. And that's why I want you guys to really focus on whatever the schedule or routine is, or work with somebody to help you on that schedule routine. So that way, once you get into the game can feel like practice. Once you get in a relationship with your specific person, that relationship will feel effortless. It will feel just like practice. You'll say, Marv, this is so easy. I can't believe the work that I did really paid off because I came up with a routine and I stuck with it. And whenever me and my specific person go through something, I get over it extremely fast, or I have no fear, I have no anxiety towards anything. I assure you, I promise you, if you really work on your self-love, really work on your self-concept, really assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and live in the end, when it comes time to turn on those lights, when it comes time for the spectators to come in and to watch you play that game, whatever that game may be, it could be the game of a relationship, it could be the game of marriage, it could be the game of your dream job, whatever that game may be for you, when those people come in and see you, and you smell that popcorn cooking, you smell those hot dogs roasting, and you smell all of that, and the lights is on, and the music is playing, and the crowd is cheering, you will perform at an all-star level, and you will win.